So today I'm going to start on the Colt 340. The problem with this one, kind of hem-hawing on where I'm going to start, because this is the one that is frozen. The motor itself is not frozen, but the gear that runs the track is. I don't know if it's the brake. I'll probably end up taking the cover off and trying to identify what's frozen. I don't know if it's up in here or down below. So we're gonna look into that. Right now I'm working because the throttle is stuck, and I think these were just stuck in the carbs, not being able to go up and down. So I'm gonna hit it with put a little oil in there, clean them, put a little oil, and see if that makes the difference. It doesn't seem to be stuck in the cord. So other than that, I'm gonna use this, try to see if we're getting spark, see if I can't get these started on starter fluid. If I can get it started, then I'll address this thing being frozen. I just can't figure out what on earth would be solid here. I'm hoping I don't have to pull these carbs and clean them. So, alright, I'm going to find some oil. So on this snowmobile, they didn't come with keys. So I'm going to use this and get in here a little bit more. And this one here is frozen up. The other sled, it turns, so I know that it should turn. Oh, wait. There we go, just a little bit of hard turning there. So now I'm on run. We're gonna try to see if we have spark. Let's see. I should be getting a little bit of spark, but I'm not getting anything. Let me check the wires. Nope, no spark. No spark would equal why I can't get him started. No spark. All right, that's not good. I'm gonna have to do some thinking now. So changing gears a little bit, neither sled has spark. That one does not, this one does not. So I've been looking into, and I don't know much about this. I'm gonna have to probably take a break actually and do some learning. But those pads there are rusty. Let me get some light. I don't know if that's going to help or hinder. Those are rusty. And those little points right there that are supposed to make contact, those are rusty. You can see all that debris that fell out when I opened those up. So I'm not 100% sure. I'm just thinking that maybe this is why I'm not getting spark. I don't know if the issue lies there or if the issue lies inside of this. I'm not sure. Like I said, I've never dealt with these. So I'm gonna stop and do some research. I don't know, I gotta look into how to test them, if they are testable, or what people typically do, if they're replaceable. I'd hate to replace them if they don't need replacing, but gotta get spark. Once I can get spark, know that they run, I'll probably, I'm thinking pull the motors, kind of strip down just the top of the sleds and de-rust them, get them primed and painted, just the tops. What's weird is underneath the sled looks pretty good. So, all right. And of course that runs right through the motor. Let's see, where can I undo it? Whew. All right, got the motor out, change of plans. I got to test the stator. I did find the information that I needed. I'm kind of in the sun. Turn this around. I did find the information that I needed in order to test the stator and the coil. And according to the source I found, you can get parts, but I don't know. I think one of my sleds is a 77 and the other is a 78, best I can tell from the numbers. So, but because of the rust, and because I have some issues with the motor, not necessarily the motor, but the carbs, I want to test them. I want to rattle them, see if I can hear that little valve in there move at all, see if they're stuck. Because what I don't want to do is fix one thing and then have to turn around and fix something else. So I kind of want to just kind of go through it and do the obvious. I know that the choke is froze solid, so I know on this one I do have to address the choke. The other sled, the choke moves, but the drivetrain is frozen. So both sleds have various problems. I'm going to flip this around and show you the stator and coil. So here we go, got it pulled out. I don't know if this is going to show up. Kind of blurry. But I mean, it's very corroded. These sleds supposedly sat for a very long time, and I know you can get replacement parts for these. Well, I say I know. I haven't actually started to look. I'm told you can. And then see if this will show up. That surface is pretty, it's got, you know, pretty rusty. Pretty rusty. And I'm not getting sparks. So basically, I've got to sit here and check the ohms of both the primary and then here the secondary, which is the coil. And that'll take me some time to do. I've never actually done that with an ohm meter on a sled. I've checked ohms before, but just not on this. So I'm not gonna even film it because I'm one of those, I just have to kind of learn it as I do it and then tell you the result, because I don't want to give a lesson and I'll have, I mean, there's guys on YouTube that know far more that can give lessons, so I leave it for them. But well, I have it this far though. My game plan is to do a down and dirty, nothing great or grand, addressing of the rust. I'd hate to get it running, get everything working, and you know, I gotta check the state of these brakes too. I don't want to get into where I get the motor started, but then everything else doesn't run. And here, set that down. Here, you know, I got some rust. I'm going to take the time to straighten the back, little grab bar bumper. And I'm just going to, from top side up, sand everything, probably hit everything with vinegar water, kill the rust, prime it, and paint it. And probably just something fast like, probably rattle can it. I do like this blue that the Colts or Polaris in general used. So I'm hoping to find something that is this blue. So that's kind of, if I can't find a rattle can that's even close, then I'll probably have to rethink. So I'm gonna do this in two phases. One is cleaning, priming, painting the body of this. Two is the engine, or anything to do with the engine, the carbs, the stator, the coils, what have you. And then that's as far as I want to get it. Eventually I will put a whole new coat of fiberglass, but not now. I'm just gonna roll with that hood, both hoods, and I'm gonna do one sled at a time. I'll do this guy first, then I'll swap over here and do this guy. And while I'm at it, I really didn't want to get that involved, but this plywood on this seat has seen better days. So I might grab some marine plywood, because I got to do this seat, that seat, but also my custom build over there, I got to do that seat. So I might get a piece of marine grade plywood and put on there. I'm trying to think if there's any sort of way, like welding little bars across, so that when the seat is on, there's like an air cushion. I don't know, you know, give me your thoughts on that. I think that it would help dry these sleds out. These sleds have been in this garage since I got them. They've been in here for months. And when I took those seats off, the metal underneath these seats were still very much wet. They just don't get a chance to dry. So, got the motor out. So, I'm gonna have to look a little bit more into the stator tonight when I go inside. I'm gonna work on testing the stator. I'll show you my results, tell you the plan from there, because as of now, until I test it, I don't know the plan. Probably pull those carbs off because I don't know the state of the carbs. I know that these carbs, any carb really, when it sits for such a long time, they get gummed up and the little float valves don't like to, they kind of get stuck. So there again, I don't want to do a complete rebuild on carbs. So I'm hoping I shake them there and I hear the little rattle in there. So, all right, let's get going. I've just been doing some sanding. Just kind of using a sandpaper wheel. And there again, I'm just taking off the heavy rust, and then I'll hit it with some probably vinegar water. So I'm probably gonna have to wire wheel. Yeah, I don't think I can get down in there. It's basically under the seat where all the rust is, you know, the heavy rust. It's got some pitting, but that I'm not too concerned with. Definitely have to weld a piece in where this hole is. I don't think I have any sheet metal that thin, so I'm gonna have to go buy some. But that's where I'm going to have to start. There is a small dent up here. I don't think I'm going to do anything about it. I don't think I'm going to go that crazy. I just kind of want to stop the rusting. This isn't like some big restoration. So, yeah, just going to work on that for a bit. So one thing I noticed when I pulled this motor out is there was this piece of metal. It's a wedge shape. So it kind of looks like it's supposed to be there, but they, on this side, had a wedge underneath that corner of the motor. There was not one on the top part, however. This is absolutely filthy. I'm going to try to get light on it. Just absolutely filthy. So I'm going to work on cleaning this out. And I'm not going to strip it down for painting any more than this. I just want to hit it. Like I've hit all that with the wire wheel. I'm going to try to leave that identification sticker alone. I'll cover that before I paint it. I'll paint around it. But basically, I'm just trying to prevent it from rusting for a while anyway. So I just want to be able to put it back together better than it was without calling it this huge full-on restoration. I'm going to paint the skis while I'm at it. So, alright, I'm going to continue. If somebody has seen those wedges before, if that's what that is, I mean, I think it's intentionally there. So, I don't know. I checked the other sled and it does not have a wedge. I don't know if that's something. So the one thing I might remove is that, just so I can check the contacts, make sure they're clean, and then replace it. I'm gonna get some degreaser, kind of hit all this with the degreaser and hose it off. Coming along. Another change of plans, guys. One thing I find it very hard to do, I love the videos, it doesn't matter if it's cars, snowmobiles, you name it, tractors, somebody goes out into a field, there's something that's been sitting there for years, boom, they get started, and that's all they worry about. And I love those videos, and I wished I could do that, but it's just not in my nature, and I always find myself completely tearing into something, which is what I'm doing now. I cracked this open, and it literally, other than being out of oil, it was literally caked with crap in there. So, you know, I'm not one that can just leave it. I gotta clean it. So, that's coming off. And this is held on by 4 bolts. And all the other bolts that you cannot reach very easily. And I'll see if this one shows up. Yeah, see, it's not even welded. But then the one right here that doesn't need to be welded is welded. So I'm gonna have to cut it off, because no matter how I move this around, it can't come out far enough to get over that bolt. So I'm just gonna cut it for now so I can get this off. Then I'm gonna get the hood off, these 2 bolts. And of course they have to use an odd 11mm wrench. I got 11mm sockets, but I can't fit one in there, and I don't have 11 wrench. So I'm gonna get the hood off, get this off, and at this point, believe it or not, probably gonna just take the damn skis off. And I'd like to say that that's it, but I'm not gonna say that, because I don't have to get on here and correct myself. So I got the front bumper off, front hood off, skis off. I don't know how well this will show up. It has a big dent, basically right where it's rusted here. That is a huge dent. I might try to hit some of it out with a hammer, but I'm not gonna get so involved where I try to repair and or Bondo it. You can see actually, they started about here. That's all been welded right there. We've got a split crack right there. I'm probably gonna have to weld that up. The basic thing is just make it so it doesn't rust further. But man, I'm really trying not to spend a whole heck of a lot of time. If I look up in that track on the bottom side there, I see rust. But I really don't want to remove that track. I really don't want to go that far. I know I'm just a few bolts away, basically. So, boy, she took a beating right in there too. Huh. Not really sure, guys. Before I know it, this is going to be a damn complete redo. Wondering if I can reach the bolts to take that off. Yes, I can. I would like to straighten this. This is pretty dented right in here, and I would like to take the time to straighten it. Just make it look cosmetically better. So I'm thinking to remove the track. I just got a bolt there and one on the other side. One there, one on the other side. But then I gotta pull this driver wheel out. So, I don't know. I gotta think on it. But I might swap gears for today and try to go in and figure out how to test the stator and coils. Gonna paint the gas tank too. So, alright. So another thing that I found out, this here is the only bushing on this sled down there. That one is missing. And on the other sled, that bushing is missing. I mean, they're not even, as you can see, didn't come off with the peg. And I couldn't figure out when I went and picked these up why this skis were so sloppy, and that makes sense. So somewhere I gotta see if I can't find these bushings. So, and as I sat here, I've been thinking, and I'm kind of leaning towards pulling the track. I hate to say it, but that's what it's looking like, because literally the track is the only thing left, and I can get a fresh coat of primer and paint on the whole entire sled. So to me at this point, it might make sense. I'd rather, when I'm done with these sleds, not have to dress stuff like this for a very long time. I do want to get the 2 Colts done this summer. My custom one over there, I want to take a little more time, because basically design-wise, I got a lot to do on it. So I'm in no rush, I just want it to turn out right. So I'm on the last bolt to try to get this track off. All the other bolts are off, this one's off, but on the other side it's not off. And what's weird, and I'm sure there's a trick to it, but when I spin the other side, this whole inner tube spins, and this bolt's always the first one to come off. So I sprayed some stuff down there thinking it might go clear through. And what I got when I sprayed it, look at all these metal shavings. All these shavings came out of that tube. So, and the threads aren't stripped, so I don't know. Yeah, look at that. Every time I spray it, look at all those shavings. Look at that. I have no clue what that's from. Like I said, I've looked down in there, and the threads are not stripped. You can just see all those metal shavings, and I have no clue. Well, that apparently does not go clear through. So I don't know why it is spinning. But that is not going to probably likely go clear down through. So, to be honest, guys, I'm not sure how to get the other side off. Not sure. Yeah, don't get that on your gloves, boy. He's got the old goggles. Oh, you got everything on. And your cape. You ready to go, boy? Well, guys, I'm going to call it a day out here on in the shop anyway. I'll go in and try to see if I can't learn how to check that stator. I almost got the track off. You can still see it's attached. The problem, I gotta get a pulley puller, and I gotta pull that pulley off. And I have a pulley puller, but nothing that shallow. So I gotta see what I can't find to get that off. So that's it probably for now. And I don't know, phase 2 will be just cleaning up the body of this, trying to work out some of the dents without getting too crazy about it. That'll be phase 2. Shouldn't take long, I don't think, and I'll have it in primer and paint.